Hey, you made it to module number 5. This is the 5th and last module of our Start Here section. And it's really cool that you've come that far. And this is the last section before we actually dive into the bootcamp, before we start with week 1, the first module, diving deep, getting our hands dirty, getting skin in the game. And I would say you're best prepared after this video to get most out of the training, most out of our community. And today we're covering maximizing your growth and how you actually can use some principles to speed up your journey, to make it easy for yourself to reach your goals. So whenever I do something new, a new training, I want to learn a new skill, I always look for opportunities how I can fast track the results, how I can assure that I keep the momentum, that I'm actually reaching that goal I have in front of me. And very often there are simple steps, simple principles. They help me to achieve this goal quicker than I intended and quicker than others. And the other thing is I ensure that I have momentum and that momentum builds up, and I am like a driving force soaking in what I need to get to that goal. And this is super powerful. So today, let's dive into maximizing your growth. I'm going to give you some hacks on how you actually can leverage our community for your growth. So this is what we cover today. Stay engaged, stay growing. And this is something very powerful. And this is our first bullet point on today's agenda. Second point is leverage opportunities. And this means like joining what we have for you. I mean, there's so much stuff on the table. You just have to grab it and build your own toolbox with the stuff we have. And it's super, super cool if you actually see how you apply different strategies in your learning experience, how you actually, maybe some of you like the live calls especially, and live calls are a super way to fast track your results, because we can have like a dialogue about specific situations instead of like researching all the answers and hoping to pick the right one. We're like in a community, so you can ask in the community, you can ask your questions, and maybe you get 2, 3, 4 confirmations of the solution you already thought that might be the right thing to do. So this is super, super cool, leveraging opportunities. Third point is track your progress. We talked about that in the past a couple of times. Today, I'm going to give you a special gift that makes it easy for you to progress or to track your progress in the bootcamp. And the last point for today is where to go next. This is a valid question at the end of each session. So what are the next steps? Are there any things I can implement instantly? And how are the next steps actually unfolding in front of my eyes? WealthBuilders CC/newsletter. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, I highly encourage you to do so. You get all the information, updates, everything that's important and relevant for our community, for our training and the courses we do. You can follow me on social media. I highly appreciate if you do so. I just uploaded a couple of videos on YouTube yesterday to make it nice and shiny and fun, getting the first videos rolling. So if you subscribe to my channels, if you follow me on my channels, if you comment, maybe give me a like button, I highly appreciate if you engage with me on social media and showing the algorithm that my content is worth watching. Share the course. As always, if you are aware of anyone around you who might benefit from our training, please invite them, spread the love, and let people know what we're doing here. It's so much more powerful if you invite your friends, your spouse, and do this journey with them together. This is a warning. This is the most important video of the whole course. So don't skip, don't fast forward. We talk about serious stuff today. It's super powerful if you watch the videos one after the other, if you get like the information which builds upon each other. So it's like building like with something with Lego. You start on the bottom, then you build up every layer of it. And the whole bootcamp and all the prep talk we're doing here is all designed to build on each other. So each module builds on the module beforehand. So this is why it's super important. But if you want to save time, you can watch the training in double speed or 1.5 speed. That will actually free up some time for you when you watch the training. So the first point on the agenda, stay engaged, stay growing. And this is super powerful. Consistency fuels transformation. And there's this guy in America, his name is Greg Rochelle. He's like a leadership champion. He has this leadership podcast, leadership books, leadership talks. He's breathing and living and exercising leadership all over again. So he knows his stuff. And he says consistency is something that surely pays off along the way. And let me give you a little example. So last time we learned that I used to play the drums. And I defined myself as a drummer. I had the identity of a drummer. It's 20 years ago, so I'm not drumming anymore, and I can leave that identity in the past. It's not serving me at the moment. I'm not keen to play any music and be on stage, not on the music stage anyway. But the thing is, let's say I want to play the drums. I want to start playing the drums, and you have two people. And the first person says, well, I'm going to put in 100 hours to get really good at that skill. And this person says, well, I'm going to do it straight away. And he's like playing hours every single day. Let's say 8 to 10 hours every single day for 2 or 3 weeks until he fills his 100 hours. So the other guy over here says, well, I'm playing half an hour or an hour, let's say an hour every single day. So this guy, after 2 weeks, he was really good with his skill. But at one point, eventually, he fills his 100 hours and he's like, oh, no, I'm done. I did this powerful sprinty marathon over 2.5 weeks. I'm so exhausted. I need to break free from it. Maybe he's burned out on the drum set and says, well, now I deserve some weeks rest. I'm already very good, better than the guy over here. So let's leave it there. And in 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to pick up the sticks again. And this guy over here, compared to this guy, after 2 weeks, he only banked like 14 hours because he plays 1 hour every single day. So this guy is still ahead. But what's happened now is, whilst this guy is having a rest, this guy is constantly doing 1 hour every single day. And after 100 hours, both of them might be on an equal level of skill set and playing like songs and really enjoying their drumming skills. But what do you think? Which of both has a bigger unfair advantage to the other? It's the guy on this side. Because this guy, he was like constantly training for 100 hours, 1 hour every single day. So it's 3 months. For 3 months, he was crafting his skill 1 hour a day. He built a habit of training every single day. This guy didn't build a habit. This guy was full immersion, learning the skill, hopping off to the next stuff. And it's very hard for him to get back on the drum set, to get back like playing the drums, because he trained himself in having the expectation, if I want to play the drums, I need to put in like 8 to 10 hours a day, because that's what he used to do in those 2 weeks. So he says, well, I need to have a full day off to play the drums. Whilst this guy says, well, I can play before dinner. I can play after dinner. I can play when I get up in the morning. Please do with electric drums. Your neighbors will thank you. But this guy, for him, it's like an hour every day. It's not much to crafting your skill. And the next thing, the really great advantage is he trained himself to play for 90 days. Every single day, he was building that habit. And it says that I think it said like 28 days to build a habit, 28 days to form a habit, and 28 days to keep the habit. So you have like in this habit cycle, you have like different waves. And after like 3 times 28 days, you made the habit your own. And then it's part of your DNA. It's part of what you every day do. So this guy here on this side, he was actually not just learning the drums, he was training himself in building that habit of playing the drums. And so this guy can keep on going, building momentum, stacking his skills, which is so powerful. And that's why the first point here is show up every day. Growth comes from consistent action, not perfection. So this guy was trying to do it perfect, so fast as he can. And this guy was loving the process. He was loving the process of getting better every single day. He was training and sharpening his skill. This guy was just about achieving that skill. And that's so powerful. And I want you to bookmark our community page on your favorite browser. I want you to download the app for school, log in, and you will find yourself within WealthBuilders Clubhouse. And Why is this so important? Because it's an easy way to just one click. If you have to start your browser, and that's something you learn in Atomic Habits. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend read that book. Habit stacking is making it yourself easy to enter the next habit. And if I want to get up in the morning and go for a run, and I get up in the morning and I have to look for my shoes, and then I realize, well, my sportswear is in the washing, so I actually, oh, it's really hard now. Okay, then I go for a run tomorrow, and you skip the day, and maybe the next day you skip the day, and you skip the day, and you skip the day. But if you say, well, I want to go for a run tomorrow, so you prep all your clothes you need, you prep your shoes, maybe you have like a water bottle or whatever you take when you go for a run, depends how long you're running, and you put everything next to your bed, so you wake up in the morning, you dress for your exercise, you drink a sip of water, you grab your keys and you get out, because you got the shoes on, you got your sportswear on, and you can go for a run. That's making it easy for you to build that habit, to keep that habit, to fight for that habit and make it your own. And the thing is with our community, just being part of the community is not enough. Not if you want to grow, not if you want to take everything out and maximize your growth, maximize your success. And that's happening when you have those shortcuts to make it easy for you to keep that habit of showing up every single day. And I don't say watch 1 hour training every single day. Do something every single day. Just be active in our community. And if you have like the app on your phone and you're just in the bus or in the train driving to work, you can quickly jump on our community, have a look, okay, what's new? Maybe you have your earphones with you, and just like just listen to like a training on the way. Or what you can do is, if you have a question that's like burning under your nails because, well, should I invest in Tesla stock right now? What do other people think about that? Because that influencer on YouTube just said Tesla stock is amazing. So I want to verify, is that right or not? And instead of like bothering yourself with that question and think about it really hard the whole day, just ask that question in our community. And when you come home from work, maybe you have 3 or 4 or 5 replies from people thinking about what they think about Tesla stocks and investing in them right now. So you leverage the information at hand, you leverage the community for your best forthcoming. And this is engaging in our community. Ask your questions, share your wins, engage and encourage with others. It's super important that we are building this together, because the closer we are together, the more fun it gets for all of us. No one wants to be part of a group where everyone is like doing their own thing. And I mean, how would you feel if I record this training while I'm here? Wait. Oh yeah, that's funny. That's a funny. Oh yeah. What? Yeah. You would stop that video instantly, because it's like, this guy is not giving me attention. And if you want attention, if you claim attention, you also need to give attention. And this is no one-way street. And if you're like part of this community and you're just like, well, I just take out what I want, and I want to be served. I want that people serve me everything. You're not going ahead, you're not moving forward in any way, because this is the wrong mindset if you want to build growth, if you want to build a financial life that is full of abundance and full of success. Because I don't know anyone who is financially successful who has like this kind of attitude. Let's serve me. They are all hungry, like a tiger, like a lion or a lioness. They're like, oh, I deserve it, so I want it. And if I want it, I'm gonna get it. And you need to have this hunger for achieving your goals. If you're not hungry, no one else can help you to be hungry. It's something you need to decide to be hungry. And it's a decision. It's a decision you make. And if you're not hungry, you need to work on that firsthand, because this is the most important and most powerful skill you can learn, is being hungry, being excited, being passionate about something. Look how passionate I am of doing this video for you, because I got so much I learned in the last 25 years, and I want to give it to you, and it's all free at your disposal. You can just grab it. But the thing is, you need to want it. If you don't want it, it's like you're sitting on a feast, on a banquet, and the table is full of great food, all kind of food, and you're sitting there and you're starving yourself to death because you just don't want to grab anything. And this is just stupid. Don't be that person who is like in this attitude, yeah, I'm part of a community. Let's see what's coming. Let's see if it's worth it. It only is worth it if you take it, if you do something, if you involve yourself in it. The more you put in, the more you get out. And this is something I've seen over and over and over again. It's always the level of your excitement, of your passion, of your fire, of your hunger. This is the real measurement, how you measure success. And if someone is not hungry, doesn't matter how great their business idea is, doesn't matter how many financial years of knowledge this person has, doesn't matter how many contacts this person has, if this person is not hungry, it's already, the person already failed. You need to develop that hunger. This is super, super important. And I want you to experience that in our community. Be hungry, claim something, but give something as well. Growth compounds. And that's something we talked about compound in the past. We have a big section in about compound in the bootcamp. And the crazy thing about compound is no one can really rationally explain it. It's just like you add tiny bits of it and the result is just overwhelming. And that's why Albert Einstein said compound is the 8th world wonder. Yes, you can do like a mathematical formula and say, well, because that's like on the new level and that's on the new level and it's exponential. Yes, mathematically you can do a lot of things, but still with our human brain, it's really hard to understand how compound works. And if you look at so many success stories out there, it's like people just started. They started ugly, they started bad, they started like with a bad hair day, they started when they were not prepared, they just started. And suddenly it takes momentum and movement and it moves forward and forward and forward. And suddenly they find themselves like after half a year of commitment, my whole life changed. And it happened a couple of times in my life in certain specific areas, different areas. And the only thing is you keep going. Your responsibility is to show up and to keep another step. Keep going and trust the process that is moving forward. Because the process works if you walk the walk. This is super important. Your commitment creates results. The more you give, the more you get. And we talked about garbage in, garbage out, value in, value out. And that seconds the point about engaging in the community, what I shared earlier. You need to be hungry. You need to be passionate. You need to put yourself on the line. You need to put yourself in front of others. You need to actually try to make the best out of every situation, and you need to be willing to pay the price for that. Because if you're not willing to pay the price, why should someone else pay the price for you? If you're not willing to pay the price for yourself, if you're not willing to invest into yourself, into your forthcoming, I mean, that's just like an investment of time. If you want to join university, it's an investment of money. Still, it's quite cheap for the results you get and you can gain. It's incredible for that kind of price tag. But if you're not willing to spend like, let's say 50 or $100 into yourself, into an investment in yourself, why should anyone else invest into you if you're too stingy to invest in yourself? And this is one of the biggest mindset blockages so many people have. They want all the things for free and they still believe they can move forward. And this is such a dangerous belief, because you want to be, I mean, just one example. One of the best investments of my life was spending $10,000 for a 2-day coaching where I just learned one sentence of wisdom out of this. And it changed my whole life. Yes, those 2 days were really, really powerful. And I learned a lot from that guy called Dan Henry. And it was so great. But it was one core lesson that transformed my whole life and actually accelerated my growth. And if it wouldn't be for him, I wouldn't do what I do today. So it is really, really crazy when you start investing in yourself and you get quite addicted to investing in yourself. So since then I was looking for opportunities. How can I spend a lot of money on something that helps me grow? So I found something else. Like 4 weeks later, I spent like 10 grand on an AI mastery class to learn AI. And I mean, I didn't have the money or that much money to just give away at that time. I had the money, but it was reserved for something else. But I decided to invest it rather in myself. And investment in myself is the biggest and the best investment I can take. it compounds the most. So this is something really coming back to the commitment part. And if you say, well, Manu, I don't want to invest 10 grand in something right now, start with little. Start with investing the focus, the time. Allow yourself to be hungry. A time investment of an hour a day is still an investment. And this is something we need from you so we can help you to grow. So you need to watch the stuff. You need to engage. You need to be part of live calls if you want to grow. Leverage opportunities. Don't miss the extra support. And I am part of many different communities. And I thought, okay, what are the best tools I can actually give you to help you to grow the most? And what is something I miss in these other communities I would love if they would provide me that kind of service? And I thought, okay, what can I do for you to make it as easy and as sure for you to stay on track, to build momentum, to keep going, to keep pushing? And I thought, okay, I kind of do a couple of things. And you might think, well, Manu, that's crazy because you're not charging anything. Yes, it might be that I'm crazy, but I'm doing it because this is my passion and I'm hungry for this actually. This is what sparks me. And I told you earlier about this guy who could buy this engagement ring. And I told you that if you come to me and say, well, Manu, I watched a couple of your videos and that was actually the result of it, my heart jumps. If you say, well, Manu, I had like this 5 credit cards. I was overwhelmed. Thanks to your help, I could tackle one. I only have 4 credit card debts left. I will jump for joy because it really sparks me. And that's why I try to offer as much as possible to make it easy for you to actually stay on track and to have your results. Live calls, I can't stress this enough. I'm offering live calls in the free community. And this is crazy. And I'm doing 2 a week at the moment to cover different time zones. So the thing is, be part of our live calls. It's not just about me and what I tell you. You will be part of a group of people all on different level of experience. It doesn't matter where you are. And listen, I've been in live calls where I talked like for 60 minutes. And I've been in live calls where I just opened the call and moderated like 4 or 5 minutes. And everyone in the live call was like sparking ideas and spinning ideas to each other. And I was like, well, I can go now. They don't need me anymore. And it was an amazing live call for me because I realized it's super important that we leverage each other's wisdom, knowledge, empathy, encouragement, inspiration. So this is something I really want in this community to grow and grow. And that's why I can't stress it enough. Be part of our live calls. It is super important. Workshops and bonus trainings. Take advantage of additional live workshops to dive deeper into critical topics. And this is something we're going to do in the future. We're going to start different workshops. Maybe we start some challenges. And I want you to be front-footed in those special events because they are super powerful. You immerse yourself into a new topic. You learn something. And if you say, well, it's a crypto workshop, and after the workshop, well, crypto is not my thing, just leave it. But you learn something. And what you learn for crypto, you can apply for the stock market too. You can apply for the real estate market too, because there are universal rules that help you to be successful when it comes to finance. And universal rules, they actually define when you do them, like universal mistakes. When you do them, you lose money in either markets. So it's super important to be front-footed with all the stuff we have to offer. That's why it's so cool if you're part of my email list, if you subscribe to our newsletter. I will announce workshops and bonus trainings and everything in the emails I send out. So if there's like a workshop coming and you're on the list and you read the emails, you're gonna get the information. So get the newsletter done today. Level up with gamification. This is why I love school. This is actually the major reason why I'm doing this community, why I'm building this community on school, is because it allows us to gamify the process. So you can actually hit community milestones, share homework, unlock bonus rewards by just being part of the community. And if you share and use the community board, and you get likes, you can actually level up. And when you level up, you unlock other bonus rewards. And the thing is, it makes you feel more part of what we're doing together. And this is super, super important. And I think, yes, I can play basketball by myself. I can play soccer by myself. And after 5 to 10 minutes, if I'm not really keen into that sport, it's just getting boring. But if I play like basketball or soccer with like 20 other people, I really start enjoying the game. And that's the same over here. If you start playing it as a game, if you use gamification as like as a as a let's say mental and heartfelt support, because we're humans and humans like to play. And doesn't matter how old we are, we need to keep playing because playing is joyful. And if we do it together and we play together, and we make it a game, make it a fun game, it's like it's really hard to see the hard work in it. I think I shared in the first or second lesson that when I'm on the beach and I want to like exercise or something, and go for a run or something, after 20-30 minutes I'm like done. But if I have like beach soccer with like 20 friends or 10 friends or 5 friends or 2 friends even, or just 1 friend, and we're playing and I don't realize that I'm working out, it's just like coming naturally. And this is why this can be so powerful. Bring others to the journey. And I wrote down, invite your spouse, friends, family to grow with you. And I will highlight the spouse and the significant other part in this point specifically, because I believe if you start a financial journey, if you start your journey towards wealth and building like a good portfolio, changing your financial life, and your partner is not on board, your partner will always subconsciously or consciously sabotage your journey, because you need to be on the same level. You need to have the same common sense about money habits. Allow me to give you an example. So let's say one partner is the one who likes spending. And in our relationship with Daniela and myself, I'm the one who likes spending. So it was really hard for me at one point to start budgeting and minimize my spending, because Daniela was more diligent with her money than I was. And because I was like such an overspender, when we married in the beginning, we didn't talk about money the first couple of months and years. And so we both had our accounts and we're all struggling with money. And when we actually allowed a deeper look into our balance sheet and our books, we realized, well, Manu is an overspender. And he loves to give money away, he loves to give to charity and all this kind of stuff. We were really active at church. So while Daniela was like not looking, Manu was like giving away 100 euros and stuff like this. And this was really hurting our trust level when it comes to money. And we sat together and we decided we're going to do it together. We have one joint account. Yes, we have both a separate account as well, but we have one joint account where we actually do our household stuff together, really budget hard on it. And we found common ground on this, and it really released something powerful, a new level of trust. And on this journey, we both learned new stuff, new skills, and it has become such a joy journey for us. Yes, we had hard times as well, but let me tell you, that was the best decision. One of the best decisions we could take for our relationship was putting ourselves on the same page when it comes to money. And if you are married, if you are engaged, if you have a significant other, a life partner, let them be part of this journey. Invite them straight away, right now. Pause this video, invite this person into the community and do this together. Watch the videos together. This is so much more powerful for you guys. And it will not only accelerate your financial success, but it will also build a level of trust in your relationship you've never known before. And this is super, super powerful. And as I said, one of the best things we did in our marriage. Track your progress. Measure your wins. Build your momentum. What you measure will grow is something Tony Robbins always says. And I'm a big fan of measuring, having like key performing indicators like KPIs. Might be that I was working as a risk manager for so many years where KPIs are like your daily bread. You measure everything. You measure the risk. You measure like the value and everything. But nevertheless, I believe it is so powerful if you measure stuff with the right measurement. So just being on a scale every day, it's not really like an objective measurement for your level of health or your fitness, because you might have stored 2 liters of water, and it does matter if you actually go and pee before or after you weigh yourself. So this is something what I learned. Some measurements are not as optimal, but others are really, really helpful. So I have this amazing scale where it also says like my body fat and my muscle mass and all this, my bone density and this kind of stuff. And I stand on it and I get like so much more data. I don't look at the overall weight because I have all the other data that helps me to measure my progress. So I can exactly pinpoint down if I actually getting fitter, if my fat gets less and my muscle gets more, or if it's the other way around. So like Christmas, when I gained like 2.3 or 3.2% of body weight and it was all fat because I was eating so much sugary stuff. So your progress matter, and when you measure your stuff and you have like milestones you achieved, it's super important to celebrate those milestones. And yes, you can celebrate them by yourself, and you should celebrate them by yourself, but you should also make them public on social media or in our community. Just let us all know, hey, I just paid off a credit card. I feel the burden has lifted from my shoulder. It feels so good. I just want to celebrate with you guys. And then just sit back and enjoy the applause because people are celebrating you, celebrating with you, celebrate your win. And it's really building up momentum in your own journey to say, well, I got a cool crew around me. Let's move forward. Let's tackle the next one. And this is so, so powerful. Next thing is use the WealthBuilder Success Tracker. Log your goals, milestone, or progress weekly. And you can download it under WealthBuilder CC/success tracker W1, or you just click the link on the action items where I always put like your little homework for you, and just download it. It's like also like a Google Drive document, and just put it into your own Google Drive, and then you can interactively use that one for your own tracking. Reflect on your journey. Where did you start and how far have you come? And this is something, I give you a lot of tools, as you can see. And you have the success tracker, you have the Wealth Builders quiz, you have your own journal, and you have so many things where you can actually measure your progress. I think it's super important, if you're just starting this journey, just write down everything you can think of, how your life feels at the moment, how you feel about money, what you think are your biggest struggles, what are your greatest goals. Just be like brainstorm about your financial situation, about your overall life, about all areas in your life, and how your finances actually are like affecting all the other areas. Is it like, well, you're really struggling making like through the month, and you feel like, well, it's really affecting my relationship because we always like talking about how stressful it is when we think about money, or my partner's always like expecting that I earn more money, or that I spend less, or this kind of thing, or that I'm more diligent with my credit card and this kind of stuff. So just pinpoint everything to the status quo where you're currently at. This is super helpful along the way, because once you hit your first milestone, I want you to look back. And the powerful thing with goals is, if you set goals and you make a plan, and I know of 100% of people who are setting goals January 1st, only 10% are still on track in February. And like, I think 2 or 3 or 4% max, they actually reach those goals, because most people don't have a plan. And you need a plan to reach your goals. And we talk about that in week 1. So this is part of everything you get here in WealthBuilders Clubhouse, because I have working with goals for like the last 20 years, and I believe I'm quite good at it. And the last 5 years, 80% of the goals, Daniela and I were like writing down over like Christmas and New Year's. This is a time when we like come together, we reflect on the last year, and we look forward to the new year. And we're having like writing everything down. We pinpoint it to our values, and we make a plan how to actually achieve them. What is the big dominion? All this kind of stuff. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's good, because I will teach you so much about this. And this, I think, might even be 2 or 3 sessions, because it's so powerful when you actually tackle your goals the right way, when you define them the right way, and you tackle them the right way. And this is something which I think is super powerful when you have like your starting point, coming back to this one, and then you have your milestone, and maybe the next milestone, and then you look back and then you see how far you've come. This is really a moment where you make, well done. This is so cool. And every year when Danielle and I look at our brainstorm board and we check out how many goals we actually can cross off the list, it's insane. There are even things on it we don't think about during the year. We just wrote them down, and they have been like part of bigger goals. And we tackled the bigger one, and it was like overshadowing everything else, and it was like smashing the other goals in one go. And we were like, this is so cool. It's so much fun if you can be proud of yourself because you achieved something during the year. And that makes you really looking forward. And it doesn't matter how tough it sometimes goes. And life can be tough, and I know that. And but you have something to push through, because you just look in your journal and you see, oh, last year, I didn't think I'm gonna make this. And I got it already. I mean, a year ago, Daniela and I were dreaming of living or even visiting New Zealand. Now I'm sitting in New Zealand recording this video, looking outside, and the sun is shining and everything is green and all those million birds are in our backyard. It's just incredible. So if you're in New Zealand, drop by Hamilton, have a coffee with me. And if you're not in New Zealand, come to New Zealand and visit us. It's insane. It's crazy. And that was like, we could just picture it. And we're like watching YouTube videos and on Instagram following all these Kiwi channels, just to imagine how it would feel to be there. And at that time, we're living like in Frankfurt City. In my personal opinion, an ugly gray city, loud, noisy, dirty. There's rubbish on the street. There are barely any animals, barely any birds. People are just like grumpy and have the face like this, and no one's really happy. And we were imagining and dreaming of a moment being in New Zealand. And now we're here. It was one of our goals last year. So we set that goal, migrating to New Zealand, not with a job visa, but with a permanent residency, so no one can take it away from us. We set that goal January 1st, 2024. And I think we took the first action toward this goal mid-January. And early November, I think it was the 7th November, we flew via Singapore to New Zealand, and now we're here. And this is nothing I did special about. It was just like, I had that goal, I knew the path, let's go for it. And that's something you can do too. Progress inspires action. And that's something, if you're progressing, you build up momentum and you're ready for bigger steps. And that's something really, really fascinating with the human brain. You need to convince yourself that you actually can do small things before you can believe the big things. And I know, dream big, because if your dream is so big that the obstacle in front of you is so tiny, you always have the goal inside. And there's some truth to that. But if your goal is too big, that it's always too far away, you get used to the factor that the goal is too far away. And your brain adjusts to the distance to your goal and says, well, it's so far away, so where's the point of moving forward? But if you have that big goal and you break it down in tiny milestones and you look at that little thing in front of you and say, that's actually achievable, let's do it. And you do it and you look, I did that. Well, there's the next step. I did that. And you're still looking at the big goal, but you realize your journey when you look at the small ones. And this is something that builds confidence. And I believe all of us can use more confidence, and confidence births so much powerful actions. This is so great. So keep progressing, keep taking small steps. And if you need encouragement, you see I'm on fire. I'm on fire on this journey you're on. And so just hang around in this community and let's inspire each other to move forward in big steps. So as this is the last session of our Start Here section, let's have a look where to go next. I think this is super important and good information for you. Check the action items. So as always, have a look on the same page where you watch this video. There are action items for you, and just click the links over there leading you to each destination for each action item. So if something to download, click it, lead to the Google Doc. If it's like a link to the community board, click that one, you end up at the community board. And if you click the link about Wealth Builders University, it will lead you to the About page of Wealth Builders University, where you have a little bit of an overview what's happening in there. And at one point, you need to be willing to put your money where your mouth is. You need to be willing to spend some dollars for your own forthcoming, for your own growth on this journey. I know there's so many free resources out there. There's so many free resources I provide here where others charge you money for. You got like everything in the Start Here section, which is already covering a lot of stuff to prep you right for the bootcamp. But also, if you just stop here, you learned about mindset, you learned about different strategies, and you learned about compound and so many cool things. First week of bootcamp is filled with so much valuable content as well. 10 modules at least, as I said. But if you want to watch like week 2 till week 6, this is all in the university. So you need to pay that price to enter that premium group. And in my opinion, that price is quite low for the value you receive. There's not just the bootcamp, there's also like the risk management masterclass, which I used to sell for $2,000 or $3,000. And I got feedback from people who are watching this masterclass. They purchased that masterclass in the past, they watched it, and they could actually handle their portfolio better. They were like banking losses in the past. And now they change their strategies because they know risk management and they become profitable investors. So this is something really powerful. I mean, I was working as a risk manager for several banks for more than 5 years, and I translated all the knowledge over to personal investment strategies to help me and my portfolio, but also to help you and your portfolio. And this is just like a bonus I throw in as an extra. So consider Wealth Builders University. Also, just that you have heard it once, prices are gradually increasing. The more people are entering the university, the higher the price tag. And there is a chance that at one point, let's say there are 500 people, I might close the gates and no one else is able to enter the university anymore. Because I don't want this to be a overwhelming big group. I want this group still to be like amongst a smaller circle of people. So we keep that familiarity and that connection, which I believe once you're like above 500 or 1,000 people, it gets really hard to have this deep connection. So that's something I highly encourage you. At the moment, the price are very, very cheap for the value you gain. The next thing is book a wealth clarity session. Get personalized strategies and next steps tailored to your personal journey. And this is something where other people call me crazy. And I used to do one-on-one coaches with people. I charged them $500 or $1,000 per consulting session. And now I'm offering you 30 minutes for free. So you don't pay anything. It's just because you are in our community. I really want to see you growing. And I told you, this is my passion. This is what I'm burning for. This is why I'm hungry. And I want to see your success story. I want to hear from your success story. And that's why I'm offering something like that. The link to book one of those clarity sessions is in the action items as well. And I highly encourage you to take me up on that offer. It's just like show up. Please show up. Because if you book it, you lock it in my calendar. I block this time for you. I mentally prepare for you to show up. I'm going to ask you up front a couple of questions. I really think deep how I can best help you on your journey. That's why I ask you at least to show up. That's the minimum standard for that book wealth clarity call we're doing. Apart from that, I don't charge you anything. You can do with that information. We talk about whatever you want, and there's no strings attached. It's just because I want to see you progress in your journey. The next thing is explore the mastermind, and the mastermind program has not been released yet. You get more information on my website, WealthBuilders CC, and this is something I'm planning to do during the middle of this year. And this is just like a small group of maximum 10 to 12 people, where we have like a full day of immersion where we talk about strategies, and then you have like a weekly coaching afterwards, where we catch up weekly to see how you're progressing on this journey. This is really something that's so powerful. And I told you about that $10,000 offer I was purchasing from Dan Henry. It was like 1 day of coaching, and I had 3 months of weekly calls with not with him personally, but with his coaches, and it really made a big difference in my life because I had like this accountability course on the way, and for the first mastermind, I have a absolute insane discount. So you want to check it out at least if you say, well, I want to shortcut my way to success. I want to actually achieve in months what other take years. This is the place to go. Have a good read. And if you are keen and consider, put yourself on the wait list. And then I come around with a special offer just for you because you put your finger up high. The next thing is your growth never ends. And the bootcamp is the first step. Keep growing, keep building. And once you're started getting down that rabbit hole, you will realize there's so much more to learn. There are more questions coming up. There are answers for those questions and more questions are coming up. And you start to discover so many cool things. And by now you should know me a little bit and know that this community is actually a community where I want everyone to inspire others. So if you're part of this community, you have to at one point inspire someone else and see the results in your own life and how amazing it is if you help someone else on this journey. So you grow the most when you help others grow. And this is something I want to really emphasize here at this point, where we're coming to an end, to a close of this Start Here section. And I believe that there are big things in your future. And take your financial growth serious. Take this community is serious before we dive into the bootcamp where you learn all the hard skills, all the cool stuff, and you get all the 3 pillars like mindset, personal finance, and investing to a next level, and you see how results are actually entering your life. This is so powerful, and just keep growing, keep learning. I learned from Tom Bilyeu. He has like the mindset of an eternal learner, and I adopted that. I just think it's fantastic if you approach everything with a learning attitude. What can I learn? And that's something you will realize when you're in the live calls as well, that I'm always having both ears wide open because I want to learn from you guys as well. And I believe there's so much for me to learn on this journey. And that's why I believe growth will never end if we allow growth to never end. So this is again, Wealth OS, the bootcamp roadmap. We already covered that one. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of that again. So Foundations of Wealth, this is like the 10 plus modules we're covering in the Clubhouse. And then in the university, we talk about mastering financial control, building a wealth mindset, investing foundations, exploring financial markets, and wealth legacy creation. You also have seen this one, which gives you an illustration what you see in the Clubhouse. The green part is what you see in the university. And then for Legacy Builder, we're going to do the mastermind. I told you 10 to 12 people. If that's something you consider, and tell me, and let me tell you that offer I'm giving you on that side, on that website, is actually a real joke for the value you get out of it. So the free Wealth Clarity session, we talked about that. And this is what you see in Wealth Builders University. You can read through that on the About page when you click that link. Now, having a quick summary for the key takeaways. Consistency is key, super powerful. We talked about that. If you never had checked out Greg Rochelle, do yourself a favor, jump on this podcast. Very powerful lessons about leadership. Leverage support, use our live calls, be part of the workshops, use all the tools I'm giving you. It's not just stuff I think, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw into the ring. No, it's really stuff I think very hard about. What are the tools I can give to you to make your journey so much easier, and the stuff I wish I would have when I was at that point. Track progress, another thing, very powerful. Keep growing. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine, which is actually closing the circle to consistency, closing the circle to building habits, and closing the circle of making Wealth Builders Clubhouse your daily show-up place, where you show up, where you engage, where you learn something. And even if it's just like 15 minutes a day, make it a routine, make it part of your DNA. Act now, be unstoppable. Thank you for watching the Start Here section. And now fasten your seatbelt and jump over week 1 of the bootcamp is waiting for you, and let us know what you thought, what your key takeaways have been from the Start Here section. I would love to hear from you, get your feedback, and yeah, act now, be unstoppable.